Early contests build momentum for 2024 contenders seeking the White House. C-SPAN offers unfiltered coverage of events leading into early primaries and caucuses. Get access to speeches and results with the free app, C-SPAN Now, or watch live on the C-SPAN networks.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Benedict.
And I...
Did you say
man.
What happened?
I just feel like this is the time we're doing a wrap-up episode. Shouldn't we turn this whole thing on its ear? Let's switch it up, okay? Just to be different. Just because
Jesus.
it's end of year.
Okay.
Just go with me on this.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rob Benedict.
And I'm Richard Spade Jr.
Now, doesn't that feel good?
No.
Like no?
It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. That's not my name.
All right.
People already get us confused.
I know, but they can't. Well, some people can see us, but a lot of people can't even see us. So, and our voices sound the same. Like, say hello.
Hello. That's my
Hello.
Hey everybody, I'm Richard Spade Jr.
I'm Rob Benedict. Ouch! The breeze just hurt me.
You're a jerk. Welcome to our season 2 wrap-up of Supernatural. What a ride it's been so far. And hey, by the way, we're live streaming this on Patreon, which if you're on Patreon and you're live streaming with us, you know that this has been smooth sailing. And if you haven't yet, consider supporting the podcast so you can be a part of this. By joining our Patreon, we will be doing Q&A in this episode live with questions from our chat room, we hope. Okay, so let's do this. So we're going to review who some of our favorite guests were of this season. We're going to wrap up the podcast season by picking our top 5 episodes.
I can't help but notice that because we're doing a live update. So for those of you who listen to our podcast, you know that season 1 wrap up, we had Steve Hine and Trey Booty, our sound engineer, participate in this sort of episode wrap up. And I want you to know they may not be in this live stream episode. They will be chiming in on the Patreon with their votes for best episodes of the season.
Right.
Well, maybe it might even make Trey make a quick video so he can sort of speak his piece.
Right. And the rules are that you and I have to come up with our top 5 episodes, and we have to be unanimous.
It's not going to be hard, dude. As much as you and I love to scrap and argue,
I think we both agree this is a great season, and hopefully we can do it. Well, let's see. This is going to be that's where the tension lies. Hopefully we can do it. And we also going to want to talk about speculation about what happens in season 3. First off, let's talk about our favorite guest stars of the season.
Okay.
What I loved about this season is that it introduced for the first time some of the great guest stars that the first in a long line of recurring guest stars that the fans really, really love.
I don't know how we can get into picking our favorite guest star. I mean, this is
we're not going to pick her. We're just going to throw out a bag of them
because we had an embarrassment of great guests. Is what is the truth.
We really did. You got Gabe Tigerman, Chad Lindberg. I mean, those are 2 of my faves. And then Samantha Ferris, Alona Tall. I mean, introducing the Roadhouse was so.
Dude,
cute.
we had Jeannie Chow. We had people who helped touching Jared's.
We're not talking about the guest stars of our podcast. We're talking guest stars of the show.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were talking about because I was sitting there going, man, every guest we've had in the podcast.
No. We can't pick a favorite of the guest stars. Like picking favorite of your children. No, we're picking the guest stars, the favorite guest stars of the season.
Yeah, because I've loved every single guest we've had on the podcast, Rob.
Right.
I want to go on record. Clearly, Steve wants us to pick a favorite. I'm not doing it. I refuse.
Actually, I clarified that with Steve before you got on while we were waiting for you. But yeah, it's favorite. Just pick out some of the favorite guest stars of the season.
That I'll do, but I won't be part of you and Steve's your little plan to parse out favorite guests of the podcast. I won't do it. I washed my hands of the whole thing.
Okay. So to return to the subject, I'm going to call out.
Can we please?
Gabe Tigerman. I'm going to call out Chad Lindberg, Alona Tall, Samantha Ferris.
You can't say Tricia Helfer wasn't an outstanding guest star of the season. I mean,
Tricia
holy
Helfer.
smokes.
Hey, young Richard Spade Jr. Come on.
What?
Let's not bury the lead. Young Richard Spade Jr., his first episode.
Let's all talk about that for an hour. That was something.
Emmanuelle Vaugier. She was in Heart.
Emmanuelle Vaugier.
Vaugier.
It's French. It's French, Robbie.
It's French.
And dude, what about Lamont Bird playing Robert Johnson?
Oh, man.
Lamont Bird, so good.
So good.
Oh.
Well, and then,
what?
yeah.
What?
well, at the end of the season,
Catherine Isabel and Gabe Tigerman back together.
right? And then also, the movie star.
Oh, Aldous Hodge.
Aldous Hodge. I mean, come
Dude,
on.
the movie star. You just sound like you're doing the opening credits for Gilligan's Island.
Movie star.
Da-da-da.
Sir and Marianne.
The movie star. Isabel and Tigerman.
And of course, the return of Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
J.D. Morgan. J-Morg. Hashtag J-Morg.
So good. And, again, that's what I loved about this season. Hey, who we're forgetting? Cliff Kosterman. The acting debut, the supernatural debut of Cliff Kosterman.
Cliff Kosterman. Unbelievable. I mean, I can't pick a favorite. I can't pick a favorite because one of the things Supernatural does so well is casting. And, and of course, you and I are products of that. But truly, the guest stars that come on that show, which is why so many of them have gone on to have massive careers when they were doing Supernatural as youngsters, is it, Robert Ulrich in his office and down in L.A. and Heike in Vancouver just were able to mine unbelievable actors to be on the show. They were all so good. And I mean from the, one-line actor to the massive guest star. And some of the guest stars, because you're looking at a cast of 2, right? Jared and Jensen.
Yeah.
So the guest stars would be huge roles because, it's not a guest of, I'm working on Kung Fu. There's like 7 regulars. So, it's a different animal. When you have 2, the screen time is going to be shared with other people.
Yeah.
And
the writers were always
fantastic.
The writers were always really good about bringing people back, and writing for the ones that they really connected with. So that
100%.
Fun about watching the show. It's like, you see Tigerman, you're like, oh, that's a fun character, and then sure enough, he's back.
Yeah, and some of these people Rob and I know because we've become friends with them over the years from conventions or just working with them and crossing paths over the last decade and a half. But then you have people like Emmanuelle Vaugier from Heart, who we've never met,
right?
And who just absolutely crushed it in her performance. And it was so great to get her on and talk about that and how we take for granted that the great actress, but you show up, you're new to a show, you don't know the cast or crew, and now you're like, and you're gonna make out with that guy, and now you're gonna get shot in the face. It's just
totally.
unbelievable assignments, and it was so powerful and so well done by everybody. I'm just so impressed with what Supernatural does. And Rob made a point when we were watching the episodes. We've been friends with some of these folks. I'll use Gabe Tigerman as an example. For 15 years, never seen him on TV in Supernatural. I've seen him on TV and other things, but never seen him in Supernatural. So that we go back and we're like, oh, this is why you're beloved on the fandom. Yeah. It's so nice to see. I get it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And how about this? How about the lore of Cliff Kosterman? The lore of Cliff Kosterman. We always thought he got the job because he worked on the show.
Right. Yeah.
We were wrong.
That was a huge piece of information we never knew. It's really true. And same goes for all these characters and all these people that we've been friends with and haven't really seen on the show. So it was great to see. And I totally get why they're beloved by the fans and why they keep coming back to the conventions, including Richard Speight Jr., who we see for the first time this season. I mean, that was huge. That was huge. That was a big moment.
I mean, here we are, Robbie and Rich Speight having a conversation on a podcast.
Yeah.
Why? Because we both ended up on Supernatural.
That's right.
I mean, that's the origin story. People are like, how do you know Rob? Story. Supernatural.
Yeah.
Season 2, I go to do a guest star, and then poof, here we are.
Yeah, and people always say, did you you have a lot of scenes together in Supernatural? Not one.
I literally was just telling somebody that yesterday. They were like, hey, your partner Rob, you guys do all that stuff together, blah, 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 Supernatural. And it came up, somebody referenced when you're working together on that show. I'm like, interestingly, we never worked together on that show. Yeah. Not until I directed you. But that was season 13 or 14, way late.
Yeah, 15.
Was that 15? Wow.
Yeah. So let's have some nominations for favorite episodes.
Okay, this is weird, but I made notes. I went through the list because I know that you're the note guy. You're like the guy who makes notes and then annoys everybody when you do that.
Holy crap. And by everybody, you mean you.
Well, if every letter from a constituent represents 10,000 voters, then every opinion of Rich Speight represents 10,000 people. That's how. So I think 10,000 people are annoyed by your notes.
That's just math, huh?
10,000 of us are sick of it.
So I'm going to decide unseen. I'm going to throw out one, and then you throw out one.
Okay,
Right.
hold on. But wait, hold on. I want to know, like, what are your rules? Like, you're going to throw it.
Oh.
You're going to throw out a title that you think should be one of the top 5.
No, I'm going to throw out a nominee for top 5.
What if I agree with it? Like, what?
Then
what do I do?
then
now?
that wins. That wins.
Do
a
we
spot.
know that's top 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then I'm going to go, and then you're going to go, and that's how we're going to
Okay.
do it. Okay. My first nomination is the very first episode of the season, In My Time of Dying.
No.
Well, so that's a nomination. You can't know my nomination. You can't yuck my yum. You're a jerk, and you do jerk things.
Just so we know, just so people watching this know, we've written all this. This is all scripted.
And they're listening. They're not. Most people.
Can't they be
listening.
watching in the live stream?
Yeah, they're watching the live stream, but the live stream is just a small percentage of the audience that will listen to this. This is a podcast, Rich.
Okay, so Robbie,
Yeah.
you've nominated In My Time of Dying.
Yeah.
Remind me, give me and the fans a wrap up of what that was about.
So Jeffrey Dean Morgan is in it.
He plays the father, John Winchester.
Yeah. It's Jensen, basically. Jensen's in the hospital, and we realize early on that he's actually on the verge of life and death.
Right.
And everyone's sort of crying and wanting him to come back to life. And he's in kind of a purgatory area where he's walking around the hospital, kind of a ghost.
Right.
And that's, when he meets another ghost who actually is evil, and something bad happens. And then
that's Lindsay
then
McKeon.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan makes a deal with the yellow-eyed demon.
That's when we see Lindsay McKeon first. That
Exactly.
Yeah. And he makes a yellow demon. Okay. I remember that episode. All right.
Okay,
so now
that's
that's your first nomination. Okay, gotcha. So I'm going to make a note here. Are you making a note? I'm going to make a note.
I did. I'm
put
making notes.
Hot pink, and I'm going to highlight that because that's Rob's nomination. Okay. Here I go with mine. Tall Tales.
No. Sorry. I was close, but it's not going to quite make it, but it was a good try. No.
I'm going to have to
Now remind me, because there were a lot of episodes this season, which one that was.
You're an animal. You're not a good person. You're a monster. Okay.
No, I agree. I agree that how can that not be in our top 5? It's got to be in our
by the
top
way, in the
5.
chat room, somebody just said the main reason to be on Patreon, see Rich mess with Rob. I agree. This is
I
the
disagree.
content people came for.
I disagree.
Okay.
One of these days, you're going to open it up and it's going to be a blank screen, and I'm not going to be here because I'm going to be protesting.
Your own podcast. So I'll summarize it. Tall Tales
remind
for
me,
you.
because there were a lot of episodes.
All right. Tall Tales, it came to pass that the boys found themselves investigating a series of murders. I think it was a university, and a college student got probed by an alien, and a lot of things are happening.
Right.
And enter a dream of a man in coveralls.
That's right. Jim Beaver was in that episode.
No, stop it. He was not wearing coveralls.
Oh.
This gorgeous oil painting of a person. You can't take your eyes off this character. Just slides into screen and into the boys' lives, and they're never to be the same again.
Wow.
Hearts a thumping all across the world as TV screens were hugged by all types of people wanting to know and or love this god of a man who played the character of the trickster. I don't remember the actor's name, but I'm just saying,
Right.
he was a gift to humanity, a gift
Dear
to
God.
entertainment,
Wow.
and really has become, I think, the archetype of what manhood should look and feel like.
Wow.
Again, I can't remember the character's name, but he played the trickster.
Wow. Well, that's very humble statement from Richard Spade Jr.
I'd let the people speak. I'm just speaking for
You're
the
just
people.
a funnel. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I remember this episode now that you mention it. You had me at coveralls. And I agree. I don't as a podcast, I don't see how we can't nominate this. Your first episode.
Yeah, man.
And it was a good one. What was the name of the thing that we learned is the technique for what they did there when they're telling Jim the story, and then they No, it wasn't like that. It was like this, and then they retell it with the new version.
Oh, the Rashomon thing. Of course, we mentioned Rashomon, and Bob Singer was like, "No, it's not like Rashomon, you morons." So
that's right.
Maybe
That's
we
right.
shouldn't. Maybe we shouldn't compare it to Rashomon.
Well.
I remember we had that. We were too clever by half, and thought we had this great question for Bob Singer. We're like, "Was this the Rashomon episode?" He's like, "What?
Rashomon, crazy."
Yeah.
All right, so we've got our first winner, our first spot with Tall Tales.
Right, we both agree on Tall Tales, ladies and gentlemen. We both agree on Tall Tales. Let's say our Rob and Rich agree theme.
They agree. For once they agree. Literally gun to my head, I had to choose that one. But no, it was a great one. Okay, so my second nomination here. Let me go to my notes.
I'm doing a drum roll.
My next nomination is Folsom Prison Blues.
Bum 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 bum.
Folsom Prison Blues.
Do you know that's a song title, by the way? Do you know that?
I did. We made that joke when we did that episode.
It's not a joke to me. It hurts my heart that you don't know that's a song title.
Dude, I'm the one. No, you're a jerk. You're such a jerk. Yeah, I really loved that episode. I loved Cliff being in it, and I just thought Jensen was hilarious in it. Jensen had a little bit of everything. Was funny, but he was also serious. And it was like kind of a nice sort of breather from the rest of the episode in a way. It kind of took a turn and all of a sudden became this other episode. Was it realistic? Not necessarily.
Well, I mean, you said a mouthful. That's why I got to say no. Not my favorite, because they go to jail together. Like the conceit of it, like Robert, the conceit of it, that they both are going to randomly be put in the same jail. And then randomly broken out. And the guy goes, okay, I'm going to break you out of jail. Here we are in the cafeteria. Go through that hole.
Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right.
I mean, like, would I love for Cliff to be in our top 5? Sure. Was Jensen great? Absolutely. Was Jared wonderful? You betcha.
Yeah.
It just, I felt like there was a series of conveniences that made it not my favorite.
Yeah. All right. So just for anyone keeping score, Rob is 0 for 2.
Over 2.
Rich is 1 for 1. Rich, your turn.
I get news for you, though. And here's what I get news for you. We're going to agree on one of yours because this season is so great. You know what I mean? So you actually probably picked the one.
Right.
That I'm like, that I think, because you and I give us, I don't know if you guys know, but like we rate these shows with our beard scale. And we got a lot of full beards on this season.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of full beards.
Yeah. We will be right back.
Hey, this is Richard Spate. You know what? It's 2024. It's a brand new year, and I bet you made some New Year's resolutions, and I bet one of them was to eat healthier. Well, you can get cranking on that resolution right now, my friend, with Factor. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, the prep work, the cooking fatigue. I'm getting tired just talking about it. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, and veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you will have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart this resolution off right. Forget frantic lunch prep and rush dinner making. That stinks. Factor's 2-minute meals, yes, I said 2 minutes, are your secret weapon in the new year. You get to fuel up fast with restaurant-quality meals all delivered right to your door. It doesn't get any easier than that. And Factor now offers loads of snack options like breakfast, smoothies, juices, snacks, and more to keep you going no matter what's on the schedule. So I know what you're asking, Rich, how do I tap into this Factor magic? You head to factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 and use code SPNTAN50 to get 50% off. That's a lot off. That's code SPNTAN50 at factormeals.com/SPNTAN50 for 50% off. Make that resolution happen now and make it happen at a discount. Fantastic food that's healthy and delicious and delivered right to my door. Now that is how you start the new year off right.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. And now back to the episode.
So now what episode number was that? I'm marking these down. It's right there.
Prison, that was 219.
219, right. Okay, so 219, big, fat, no thank you, ma'am. But I'm going to give you a hot pink thing. Okay, here we go. Here's my next one.
Okay.
Hollywood Babylon.
Hollywood Babylon. Pitch it to me. Why
Hollywood Babylon? The boys go to Los Angeles, California for a little R&R and wind up stumbling into a murder that took place on a set. Mm-hmm. And then are fascinated by the behind the scenes of making TV. Then he gets all wrapped up in the production of it all and gets to, hook up with a hot star that he'd been watching movies forever. Meanwhile, they figure out that it's a resentful writer who is annoyed that his work is being sullied by producers. And so he makes a deal with a bunch of demons or a bunch of dead people to, kill the people he thinks are ruining his work. A disgruntled writer, that's the word I'm looking for. So it has Gary Cole in it. It has an actor that you said you knew, I believe a comedian who played the director. And it's just a super, it's when Supernatural does that wink, wink, nudge, nudge thing where it sort of almost pokes fun at itself because it's making fun of TV shows and how they're made. I just thought it was super clever. Yeah. Very meta episode, very showed off Jensen's comedy chops really, really well. Yeah. And had a cool... just a kind of a cool, fun departure from some of the darker episodes in the season. I thought it was really clever. And also, again, like I say, Supernatural does that kind of episode really, really well. Yeah. And this is sort of, one of the first of it doing that kind of thing. Okay. Okay, fine. You win. Okay. So we got a second one. Okay. Rich is 2 for 2. Rob is 0 for 2. Here we go. I'm going for broke. I need a win. All Hell Breaks Loose Part 1. Yes. Agreed. Really terrific cliffhanger where Sam dies at the end. You don't know what's going to happen. You got the return of Gabe Tigerman and the rest of that group. That's all the sort of the special people that the Yellow Eye Demon has nominated to be the leader of his. And you find out a lot of stuff. You also get this great scene between Sam and the Yellow Eye Demon in Sam's sort of dream where he finds out some very, very interesting facts about his mom's death. Oh, man. Yeah, right? I forgot about that. That scene is so creepy. Yeah. And the way Sam Smith is like, oh, hi, Dave, or whatever she knows. Exactly. You're like, what is going on? And you learn that the Yellow Eye Demon's name is Dave. No, but so you learn a lot of that stuff, and the fact that he was like, I think didn't he say he did Sam's girlfriend just for fun or something? No, because he said because Sam was was losing focus on task. Right, he needed Sam on task. So just evil. So that was just that little secret wink where Sam Smith knows him. Yeah, it brutal. I mean, and Sam Smith, it's like you're going somewhere with your wife and you go see some like rock star, and then the rock star leans down and goes, oh, hey, Ruth. And you realize, oh my God, my lady dated that rock star. Like, that's her ex-boyfriend. This is so weird. I've been paying tickets to this guy. It turned out, there's a relationship. Ruth dated Eddie Vedder. That'd be awesome. That'd be kind of cool. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that's what that moment was like. Oh, holy smokes. What a reveal. Yeah. Great. I'm glad you agree with me. This feels good when you agree with me on something. This may be the first time this has ever happened. Maybe. All right, we've got three out of the 5. Rich, your turn. All right, dude. I do not see how you can talk about season 2, best episodes, top 5. I mean, we're not going to talk about top 1, top 5. That's a pretty good chunk, a quarter of the episodes, just about. I do not know how you can discuss season 2. I don't see a world where you can talk about season 2 and not have in your top 5, without question, Heart. Heart. Yeah, I knew that was what you were going to say. You gotta go, man, to Heart. I mean, you got just for Jared's sadness when he has to go kill the woman and Jensen's reaction to it. Yes. Worth the price of admission. Yeah. It's just a rock solid acting and story. Every other episode is like, well, we solved the crime and everything's kind of wrapped up neatly except for this dad story. They don't solve it. They have to take out the lady that we've come to know and love throughout the episode. I mean, the ending was so different than any of the other endings, and it was tragic. Jared Padalecki turning in some amazing acting. Jensen Ackles turning in some amazing acting. Yeah. That shot where they're just on Jensen and then like, bam, off screen here. I would put their acting in that episode up against anybody on TV doing anything right now. I would take your Game of Thrones or anybody doing Ozark, anybody doing anything that we all consider to be brilliant right now, I would stack those boys up against it, and I would just take that clip and go, boom, do better.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
And I agree. And, also having this like mini romance between Sam and Emmanuel Vaugier's character
Oh my God.
it's so intense. And again, you're packing that into 42 minutes, 45 minutes? So good. So good. All right. We've got 4 of our 5. Tall Tales,
Okay,
Hollywood, Babylon, All Hell, Part 1, and Heart.
And now the gloves come off because it's a battle royale for the final slot. There's only 5 slots. Let me repeat. There's only 5 slots. We did the math before we went live on air.
Yeah.
Turns out when you have a top 5, that limits you to 5 choices. So there's we have 4. And our accountants just sent in the math on that. If we have 4 and there's only 5 slots, that leaves, and I'm not kidding you, one more to choose.
Wow.
There's a lot of episodes left. We have 22
I'm
episodes
glad we have
of TV,
the accountants because I wouldn't have been
we have
able
22 episodes of TV. I don't like your tone. 22 episodes of TV. We've already, so there's so many more to choose from.
Okay. Can we do this together?
I would love to, because if we don't, we'll be like, this could turn ugly, everybody.
Okay.
This could turn ugly.
No, right. It's already, and Lord knows it's already gotten a little bit ugly.
Stop it.
So
Stop it.
I've just got some simple questions. What's Night Shifter? Which one is that? Ben Edlund wrote it. What happens in Night Shifter?
I remember Ben Edlund wrote it, and it's really good. It's the bank heist. It's the one that looks like Dog Day Afternoon.
Yes.
Where they, the great guest star guy, you think, he's like, I know what it was. It was this, and they realize the videotape shows like the eyes of the creepy people. It's the
great
bank.
episode.
Like
yeah, they're locked. They're locked in the.
Right.
They're locked in the. Great episode. But Born Under a Bad Sign. Which one was that?
Is that when Sam tries to make it with Joe violently at the Harvells?
Oh yeah, that was dark.
Yeah. It is. Okay. That's great. That's good. You got Alona Tall getting accosted by
Possessed
Jared
Sam.
Padalecki.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Sam.
Yeah. There's Roadkill. It was great with Tricia Helfer. We really liked that one, remember?
Clever turn.
Yeah. Is there another one that struck you?
Well, I had written down Roadkill as one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah. Which was
House of the Holy? Yeah.
There was a house?
The church where they had the priest, and they was doing the old priest thought he was helping, but he wasn't helping.
That was a pretty good one. That was a good one.
That was really good. What about Croatoan? I still have a hard time saying.
Croatoan, yeah. We liked Croatoan.
Yeah. Night Shifter we know and like. I got to be honest, Night Shifter is on my, it might be my...
Number 5.
Right now, it's between Night Shifter and Born Under a Bad Sign is so good, though. But it might be Night Shifter.
Night Shifter, yeah.
Or it might be Roadkill. I mean, I still think Roadkill is a great episode. So I'm narrowing it down.
Also, there's What Is and What Should Never Be was really good. We really liked that.
He's attacked by the Jinn. That's the tattooed face guy.
Yeah.
And it shows him the other world, the other life he could have lived.
Yes. That was great.
That was great. Seeing Sam as a California lawyer was great.
Yeah, we did that 2 full beards.
Yeah, and Adrian Palicki came back for that. That was cool.
Yes. I nominate that as number 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going rogue.
Okay, that's good. I like it when you make a choice. It's refreshing. So we're down to 3.
Okay.
Night Shifter.
Yeah.
Roadkill.
Yes.
And What Is and Never Should Be.
Yeah. What Should Never Be. It's
What Should Never Be. What Is and What Should Never Be.
By a band called Led Zeppelin.
Okay, Rob, I want you to tell me what you think it is. Like, I want your opinion of what you think. So now, again, buddy, we're talking Night Shifter, which is the Mandroid episode with a really great guest star who helps somebody gets killed in the bank. We got Roadkill, which is just a helper thinking that she's being haunted when it turns out she's the haunter.
Yes.
And we have What Is and What Should Never Be, which of course is that's the life Dean could have lived.
Right. Now, I'm going to say this only because I'm so swayed by what other people say. And everyone in the chat seems to be saying what is and what should never be. So I'm going to say what is and what should never be. You don't like that. You're sipping your coffee.
Sipping my coffee. I'm sipping my coffee. I'm thinking about it because it's really tough. And now I know that it all comes down to me. This is not the pressure I need in my life. I want to open this by saying season 2 was an outstanding landmark season of television.
Yeah.
Even the episodes we didn't nominate as our best were good.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a turd in the bunch. I'll say that right now.
No turds.
Which to do 22 episodes of TV and not have one kind of like, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Such a strong episode.
Lots of full beards this season. All right, what do you say? We see. We are out of time. What do you need? What do you say?
I agree with you.
Okay. All right.
That's it. I mean, how can you? It's a great episode of TV. And by the way, there's about 3 or 4 other ones that we could have gone with, and I've been like,
that too. Totally.
very happy with that. All right,
Totally.
so
I
now,
want to do an honorable mention to just as a writer, Ben Edlund, who wrote Simon Said, and he also wrote Night Shifter. Just fantastic. Every episode he writes, exciting to watch.
By the way, so our top 5 end up being episode 15, 16, 17, 20, and 21. Sorry. 15, 17, 18, 20, and 21. But like, what a grouping. Like all at the tail end of the season.
Wow. And, and for what it's worth, like you said, like we also really loved, while we were watching it, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like, I remember in the middle there, we were like, I'm sorry to say it, but it's another full beard.
Dude, I mean, we became broken records, so to speak, but it was, like, I mean, again, Night Shifter, which you mentioned, with episode 12, unbelievable episode of TV.
Yeah.
The season opener, 201, which you mentioned, an unbelievable episode of TV.
Right.
The clown one, using the sort of really creepy clown part, it was fantastic. And then what Steve Williams did with Crossroads Blues in terms of creating a whole new look of flashbacks for Robert Johnson.
Yeah,
and then
great.
Dean,
and the Crossroads Demon.
Dean meeting up with the road.
Crossroads Demon who interviewed was great, and the dude who played Robert Johnson was great.
And now we have the challenge, Rob. We have to put these in order. So now we have 5 episodes: Tall Tales, Heart, Hollywood, Baby Lawn, What Is and What Should Never Be, and All Hell Breaks Loose, part. Okay, I'll start. I'm going to make this easy.
Okay.
I'm going to make it easy off the top.
Okay.
So we're going, number 5 being the 5th best up to number 1, right? Right out of the gate, I'm going to say number 5, Tall Tales. It's a fun romp. Obviously, I'm biased, but I don't think it has the edge of a lot of the other episodes. So I think it's easily out of that list the 5th best.
I mean, yeah, I would almost say Hollywood Babylon 5 and Tall Tales 4.
I could be talked into that. Yeah, because of the sort of almost the lightness of the story in a way, and
And I think that they've done that better in the future, because I know that they do that again pretty much in French Mistake.
Right.
And I think French Mistake, I would take that above Hollywood Babylon.
But real quick side note, somebody mentioned in the chat room the great use of Renegade by Styx and Night Shifter, which again, Night Shifter could easily, if Rob had said Night Shifter, I also would have said I agree for that being in the top 5. I thought Night Shifter was Night Shifter felt like a feature. And that's why that's my honorary top 5. It could easily have replaced, quite to be totally honest, if I wasn't in Tall Tales, I don't think I would put it in there. So
no.
if we were eliminating Tall Tales, I'd put Night Shifter in that spot.
Yeah.
So maybe for the sake of this, since we know Tall Tales were biased, let's take Tall Tales off. We know it's honorary. Let's go Night Shifter.
Okay.
Let's go Night Shifter. And just get
as number 5 or number 4.
Now people are.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Right,
don't do that. We've come all this way. We did this whole
just
thing.
Know that it just
you nominated it first.
I want everybody to know that it's totally ego driven. That's the only reason why I'm keeping it.
Don't be swayed. Okay, number 5 is Hollywood Babylon. Number 4 is Tall Tales.
Right.
Number 3, I almost want to say
what?
Heart.
What are you going to do?
Heart or What Is and What Should Never Be.
No, it's, you know what? Here's the thing. It has to be Heart. Even though I love Heart, and I think it's amazing the tragedy being inflicted by our boys on another person, whereas the tragedy is inflicted on them in the next 2, and I think we have to save those for 1 and 2.
Agree.
Okay.
So number 2, and I'm going strictly not emotional here, but because it almost didn't make the top 5 on our list, I feel like What Is and What Should Never Be can't be number 1.
Right. I get it.
So number 2 would be What Is and What Should Never Be, which leaves number 1, All Hell Breaks Loose, Part 1, as our favorite episode of season 2.
Unbelievable. I mean, so we have, again, to recap, number 5, Hollywood Babylon. Number 4, Tall Tales. Number 3, Heart. Number 2, What Is and What Should Never Be. And number 1, All Hell Breaks Loose, Part 1. My honorable mention, and I don't know if yours is the same, is Night Shifter, without question. Robbie?
Yeah. Yes, agreed. Night Shifter would be my honorable mention as well.
This is an impossible season. I actually hope the seasons get worse, so this will be easier. It's way harder to pick a top 5 when you have great shows.
Well, so let's talk about season 3 real quick. The only thing I know about season 3 is that it's a shorter season because of the writer's strike.
Right.
And you're in it. You're in one episode, correct?
In season 3, I believe I am. Yes.
That might be all I know. I really have no idea what happens in season 3. So I
don't remember a damn thing about season 3. I'm
curious what happens with Ellen and Joe.
Yeah, dude, because Ash is gone.
Right.
Ash is Ashes.
So is their bar.
Which is so weird because I swear to you, I thought it was going to be a long-standing part of the show. Very strange.
Here's another question, dude. This is the big one. Dean's got a year to live.
Oh, that's right.
I thought he had a good 14 years left in him.
No, dude. I guess the show continues without him after season 3.
Yeah. So he's got a year to live until the demon, the Crossos demons, gets his soul.
Well, I can't wait to dive into this. It's going to be unbelievable to see what happens.
Also, you're so quick to cut me off. Also,
sorry, I was excited.
Sam, not great, right?
Oh, Sam is not being normal Sam.
No. He beat the hell out of that guy. He shot the hell out of that guy.
Which, again, just to debate this point again, so what? I mean, that guy was trying to kill everybody. I know everybody's like, wow, that's really crazy of you, Sammy. I'm like, was it? I mean, to protect everybody like that?
It's not the Sam we know.
I know.
It's not the Sam. Sam wouldn't have done that. This is back from the dead Sam.
That's not my Sammy.
It's not my Sammy. All right, so this is all to be soon uncovered as we watch season 3 of this show, which will be coming up very soon.
Such a fun journey we're having watching the show, and thank you to everybody who's watching it with us. It's such a blast. It's such a good show.
Yeah, it really is. That's to summarize. We really love this show.
All right.
Hey, this is Jeffrey Dean Morgan. We are going to take a quick break. Hey, it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan again. Welcome back to the podcast.
Okay, and now Steve's going to join us
Producer
for
Steve.
some podcast updates.
Yeah, here he goes.
This is just 2 big updates. One is, people have been I think you guys have seen some of the chatter on Twitter. People are eager for some merch. And we were trying to get it up and running for the holidays so that people could get their 2 Full Beards bumper stickers and coffee cups. But we looks like we might be delayed until around Valentine's Day. So we'll have to buy it for that special someone around Valentine's Day.
Okay, so to sum up, so that you're talking about merchandise with our stuff on it, and that is coming circa February 14th.
Ish, yes.
Okay.
Very fun.
And then we're going to go on a 2-week hiatus, and we'll be back with season 3 starting on January 2nd. So I'll be posting that in social as well.
That's awesome. They're very exciting. Now, also, Steve, just so you know, I told the people something, and when I tell the people something, I mean it. You and Trey have to, on the Patreon, you have to list your top 5 episodes. You don't get off the hook like, well, I'm the producer. Like, you have to involve yourself and put your name on the line, your money where your mouth is. You and Trey both have to list.
But if anybody, we have a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay, so Jason White asked a question that's good.
Okay.
Will you have some behind-the-scenes stories about the writer's strike impact on season 3? Absolutely. I can't imagine that our interviews won't touch on that. We'll definitely have some writers on, and we can talk about how that affected the season 3.
Let's see. Somebody asked, what do you think is the best song used in season 2? There's a lot of great music throughout season 2. What was the best needle drop?
House of the Rising Sun, that played like 3 times in that episode, every time that it was going to be super creepy, or Renegade by Styx for Night Shifter.
Renegade was great. And we also liked the Boston in the finale. Remember? You were like, what Boston song is that?
Oh, yeah. It was Long Time. Yeah, when they used Long Time or Foreplay in Long Time. What? That was great. Which episode was that in? I can't remember.
Dun, dun, dun. It was All Hell Breaks Loose 1 or 2.
And then what about, where was, it was, the needle drop, I think may have been Tricia Helfer's episode where for House of the Rising Sun. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Anyway, that was a great use of it.
That was a question courtesy of Hey Joyous. Here's a fun one, Rich, and this kind of stretches beyond just season 2. What was your favorite Loki line?
I think, for this one, I'll stick to season 2, just because, it was a good first episode. I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of, I got more ass than a toilet seat, which is a fun line.
That was Tall Tales?
Yeah. So I'm going to.
It wasn't funny in the episode. It's funny when you say it. I'm kidding.
So I'm holding off I won't come in on other trickster lines for future seasons. We need to save those chestnuts.
That is that's really funny.
Here's a fun one for the both of you. If you could have played any one of the other guest stars in season 2, who would you want to have played?
Oh, just for obviously never would have played it. Couldn't have been done better, but just because it's a cool role, the Yellow-Eyed Demon. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have said that, but if that's taken...
and Rob, you can't say Loki.
Yeah, and also just another nod to Fred Lane, who played Yellow-Eyed Demon, who crushed it.
Yeah. I mean...
Tigerman?
It's really hard to say.
Tigerman's role?
Yeah, I mean that's honestly the first one that comes to mind. That's such a great fun role, but Tigerman does it so well. I wouldn't want to usurp him.
That can't be part of the thought process, because obviously whoever played it is supposed to be the role.
Well, then that's what it would be. It would be Tigerman's role. But yeah, it's a really fun one.
Here's a fun question.
Also, what's his name? Sterling K. Brown.
Oh, Sterling K. Brown. Oh,
no,
yeah.
Sterling K. Brown. I mean, I just think that's a fun,
great role.
Tough
yeah.
role. Yeah.
Here's a fun question. What surprised you the most from watching the show versus what you guys knew just from the conventions?
I'll tell you, I can flat out tell you now. This is going to sound crazy because the show's a bunch of fans. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be more dated, I guess is my point. I thought it would feel more like a 15-year-old CW show, and it does not. It is so well done, so well shot, so well directed. And Jared and Jensen, who I already thought were, great actors, are just never failed to really impress me. Yeah,
for me, it's that, but more specifically, I was unaware that seasons 1 and 2 were as good as they are. I feel like in the retrospectives, which I've seen, they always go, well, season 1 and 2 is Monster of the Week and blah, blah, blah. And they kind of write them off, and really the show kind of begins really with like Castiel coming in season 4. But these seasons are not to be written off.
No, God, no.
I thought season 1 was great. I think season 2 was even better. And I'm just blown away. I did not expect this from season 2. It was really, really terrific.
Yeah, agreed.
We posted videos on Patreon. I mean, we're going to post this video on Patreon when the podcast comes out. And then we'll post the last video tomorrow when that podcast comes out.
Yep. And we're going to do more. There'll be more coming.
Love the beard rating. Will you stick with Stapleton and Loggins or use 2 other artists like Billy Gibson or Dave Grohl?
No, I'll probably stick with Stapleton. But here's the thing. Keep in mind, people, you were lulled into thinking that everything is a Loggins or a Stapleton. That's not true. We had a George Michael in there. We had a couple other beard. So it's very possible that somebody will earn a Grohl. I don't know. Maybe somebody will earn a Billy Gibbons. But I think Billy Gibbons would be competing with my Stapleton. I think I'm using Stapleton as my ultimate, so it'd have to go even beyond my I guess if I was blown away, beyond blown away, maybe it would become a Billy Gibbons. But I kind of feel like I've got my tent pole in Stapleton, but I can go any other direction for various reasons based on my love and or frustration with the show.
Yeah, we have other beards to choose from. There just happen to be a lot of Loggins and Stapletons this season. But who knows? Maybe next year it'll be who's the guy from Cake, the lead singer of Cake? He has a goatee.
Oh, I can't remember his name.
He always has a goatee.
Yeah.
Someone like that. Someone else that you've never heard of that only we know.
We'll figure it out. Now I'm going to be stuck on trying to remember that guy's name. All right, next question, Steve.
John McCrae.
John McCrae.
This will be the last question. So it just what scene affected you the most from this season? What scene affected you the most from this season?
I think we probably both can agree on that scene in the kitchen between Sam and Dean in Heart, where that they decide that Sam's gonna have to go kill him.
That one. But I got to tell you, dude, I am a sucker for the emotional connection between dad and the sons. And so when dad comes back and all hell breaks loose, part 2, to save his boys, and there's just that quiet look at the end, that was just awesome. I mean, it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And Jensen Ackles talking to, or Dean talking to his dead brother was also just beautiful.
Yeah.
So I guess those are my top 3.
I'll say the same about the very first episode. I think that's what struck me on that. Like, there's, Sam lamenting over dead Dean or dying Dean.
Right.
With, dying Dean actually as a ghost, sort of like trying to talk to him, and then the dad making a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's not one scene.
I got to say, I think that supplants Heart for me, because, and here's why. Their acting in Heart is unbelievable. And it was heartbreaking. But I didn't have a big emotional connection with the woman. I like the character and thing, but the father-son stuff gets me. Maybe because I'm a father or son and all these
Absolutely.
things. So I'll go with the Jeffrey Dean boys stuff.
Yeah.
Then Dean talking to Sam, then Heart. Those are in my order.
Yeah. Yep.
By the way, on that note, we would be remiss if we did not bring up in our year-end wrap-up, talk about our friend and fellow performer, Nikki Acox, who passed away.
Yeah.
Talk about a kick in the teeth. I knew Nikki we know her with you guys, fans, as an unbelievable performer in Supernatural. She really got the whole idea of the recurring guest star started on Supernatural. The whole turn, you don't see it coming. Her performance is unbelievable. I know we'd learned that she was handpicked by Kim Manners to play that role because he had worked with her before, and she just knocked the leather off the ball. Eric Kripke tweeted about that after she passed, how she just raised the bar on the show's ability to do dark things with wonderful performers who are, not living there, but just guesting. I knew her personally she was dating a friend of mine back in the old Band of Brothers days. And so she and I got to hang out when we all went to the Band of Brothers premiere together in France a million years ago. And then we'd see her at conventions. And she was an outstanding human being, a lovely person, a beautiful woman, talented actress, sweet soul, and a gift to her family, her husband and her parents and any siblings she may have had. And I'm heartsick for their loss, and I'm so sorry. Sadly, with life, these things are going to happen, and they suck. And we just want to say, as representatives of the podcast, and by the way, for those who are interested, we had reached out to her to be on the show, and she had gotten back to Steve and said, I'm wrestling with a health issue, but we'll do it next time down the road. And so we were unaware she was so sick, and we're heart sick for this loss, for her family and for anybody who knew and loved her work and knew and loved her personally. So
Well said, Rich. Well said. I don't know if I could add anything that would be of greater impact than what you just said, but yeah, just our hearts are broken.
Yeah. You honor Nikki Acox by going back and watching her work and just seeing the raw talent that woman possessed and brought to screen. We are lucky that Supernatural had her for the time that we did, and her legacy will live on forever as the show does as well. So to the Acox family, our sincerest condolences. And to all of you, thank you for being part of this world that we are creating in the podcast space. This is awesome.
Yes, we can't thank you enough for being a part of this. A special shout out to our Patreon people for being with us today. And we love your support, and we are so enjoying watching the show. And thankfully for all of us, we got 13 more to go. 13 more seasons.
That's right. This mustache will be gleaming white by the time we finish doing this podcast. We so love having you all. I got to say, Steve, I'm digging the whole live stream thing. I mean, it took us a hot minute to figure it out, but this is fun. We got to do this again.
Yeah, for sure.
And we will.
All right, everybody. Thank you, and thank you for listening. And be sure to like us on your on the where you listen to your podcasts, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter.
Tell your friends. Get your other Supernatural buddies on the hook to listen to the show. We appreciate it.
That's right. And we'll be back for more very soon.
Bye, y'all.
So long, everyone.
I'm looking at the chat room. I'm seeing what people think. So they know what we're down to. Somebody threw out Born Under a Bad Sign. That's not in that. We've moved past that. You got to.
It was a great episode, but it's just not going to make it.
Episode. Too many great episodes.
People are liking what is and what should never be. People like it.
If we were doing our top 7, no problem. This whole thing's over.
Yeah.
But we're doing our top 5.
We're doing top 5, and that's Steve's fault. If you have someone to blame Steve.
We begged him to make it a top 7. Somebody in the chat room said that All Hell Breaks Loose 1 and 2 should be considered one episode.
Yeah.
And I would love to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Steve made airtight rules. We can't break them.
Story Mill Media.